I've been in the business for almost 30 years, and there are certainly great companies that give money back to charity and do good things, but not on this scale. I mean, come on, man. The name of the company is on the school, and you got these little kids running around with backpacks with the movement logo, and holy Toledo.
Welcome to the Deep End Podcast with Dave and Jen. Today's episode is with Coach Bill Hart. Tune in and listen to what it looks like to step in and step out for the Lord. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Deep End. We got special guest, Coach Bill Hart.
Woo!
Very excited to be here.
Yeah, man.
What I realized is I need a picture, though, you guys. So
yeah, we're going to roll with it now. You want me to come over there?
Yeah. No,
All right.
Yeah.
Me?
All right. Hold on a second, people. We're doing a quick picture.
Yeah. Because, you got to be able to post on this stuff, right? Okay, here we go, guys. Left side of the phone. On three. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Ladies like high camera angles.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah,
I love that we just did a photo
chin.
op right here.
Photo
It
op.
totally
You go
does.
higher.
Yeah.
That's the first photo op we've had on the podcast.
I
Always
love
like to
that
be
you
a
did
first.
that.
Coach
Yeah.
bringing it in.
Come on. Well, I want to bring it to social.
Yeah.
Yes, you
You
are
are.
really
You're
good
big time
about
on
that.
social.
Yeah.
We try.
Yeah. So, Bill, tell us a little bit about how you got to movement.
Oh,
Tell us
jumping
about
in.
that story.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Really? Is that where we're
See,
gonna
she-
be?
That's where we're going.
She's
Okay.
on 3 cups of caffeine
Yeah,
here.
y'all.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah, she's going
Watch out.
Let her roll with
I'm
it.
going to try to keep it at a normal level, but
So
I
we're not going to talk really fast like at 1.5
hopefully
speed,
not.
like that? Okay.
Yeah, hopefully not. Yeah, tell us how you got to movement.
Yeah. So I don't know if you remember COVID. Do you remember COVID?
I try
Nobody
to block it
remembers
out.
that.
Yeah.
Well, it was 2020.
Yeah.
March 14th, I'm pretty sure, is when people started getting phone calls like, lock up your children. Yeah. It was a pretty crazy time.
It was
and
crazy.
like a week after that, I get a reach out from Casey Crawford. Perhaps you know him. And I'm not working for Movement. I'm working for Building Champions. This is an executive coaching company in Portland, Oregon, even though I live in Southern California. But I was coaching 14 top movement people. So Casey reaches out and says, hey, you coach 14 of my best people, and I don't know who you are. I'd like to just get to know you.
I love that.
That's when Zoom first started to kind of become a thing. Like, I know I can't fly there, you can't fly here, but
Yeah, Zoom took off then.
It
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It became a normal part of life.
it did.
Yeah.
It did.
That was
Yeah.
tough for Dave Borelli.
I don't like Zoom either. Yeah, because you're not technologically.
That was real tough
Oh,
for
it is
Dave.
wild.
Sound,
It is
yeah.
wild. Just now, by the way, slight little detour here. Just now, as I'm walking into the building, I'm running into people who you only see on Zoom. but I
Yeah.
don't- It's like, wow, you're taller than I expected. Gosh,
Yeah.
it's great to see you.
Yeah.
This is so.
Oh,
it's
man.
so different.
They're
this
real.
little one-dimensional
Yeah.
square, versus
We'll come back to that.
versus
you know,
this.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
I'm gonna
worthwhile
ask you some
conversation.
thoughts on that.
So Casey reaches out, and I think in the South they call it sniffing and circling around each other like a hunting dog.
Oh.
yeah,
you know,
yeah, they're
like-
testing
Wow.
the waters.
So who is
Do
this
we
guy?
like
Yeah, who
you?
you made
Yeah.
of? What you
Yeah.
made of?
Yeah, and I've over the years, having been in the business for so long, there have been companies that have made a run at me, like, hey, maybe we could recruit Coach Bill, and I've never stepped into that because it was never interesting to me. I just was going to be with Building Champions forever.
Sure.
At the time, I had been with them for 18 years, I think. But there was something really different with Movement. Not a story that is unfamiliar to you guys, but
Sure.
yeah, we just start kind of finding that, okay, they're similar worldview. I see a lot of similarities here.
What was your
He's
first impression
Superman.
of him?
Humility. That was the first thing that really hit me. And I've dealt with a lot of CEOs, and
Sure.
his humility was just so attractive. And
Yeah.
I don't think he had an agenda. I didn't have an agenda. It was just kind of, let's just figure out, who
Get to know each
is.
other. Yeah.
That resulted in me coming out and doing a market leader training,
Yeah.
And while I was here, now I realize, they actually might make a run at me, and I'll listen to what they're doing because I love what I'm hearing. But that included a school tour. As my now deceased 94-year-old Sicilian mother-in-law used to say when she passed, there's an Italian phrase that is, the calf is sold. Have you ever heard this? It means like it's done.
You're in.
The deal's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once I did the school tour, it was like the calf is sold.
Yeah.
Really?
So now I'm in Casey's office with Mike Brennan, and I mean, basically, it was the worst negotiation financially I've ever done in my life because I think I said, I'll do this for free,
For whatever, yeah.
but I'd rather not. So,
Yeah.
so that's where it all started.
Oh, I
that's
love
cool.
that.
Yeah, pretty special.
What was there anything specific about the school that like changed your mind, or just like walking into a school and realizing this is a huge part of what movement does?
Yeah, I mean, so here's my perspective on that because it is probably a little different. I've been in the business for almost 30 years, and there are certainly great companies that give money back to charity and do good things, but not on this scale. You know, I mean, come on, man. The name of the company is on the school,
Yeah.
and you got these little kids running around with backpacks with the movement logo, and holy Toledo, it was just. So here's what I absorbed, and here's what I said to my wife later. Like, that would be the litmus test, right? Like, what do you say to your
Yeah.
spouse
Yeah.
after this
Yeah.
experience?
Yeah.
And I just said, honey, if in the final chapter of my professional career, if I can help to have an impact, literally, with all that I've learned in 30 years, 22 in the coach's chair, like, there's no greater door opening. So how wonderful is this? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it was. It
Yeah.
was just like, man, if I could have any impact indirectly, not directly,
Right.
of course, but indirectly on that goodness that is being done, why wouldn't I want to be a part of that?
Totally agree.
Nice. Fun.
Sweet.
So there
I
you
like
go.
it. Well, I have a question then.
Oh, okay.
Have you, so Coach, you've always gone by Coach Bill Hart.
Yeah.
You've always gone by Coach, right? For how long?
22 years, and it's because I was very deliberate to brand myself that way.
Okay.
The funny thing, this is such a subtle thing.
Yeah.
You know how in athletics it's always Coach last name?
Yeah.
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 So Coach Hart.
Yeah.
I
Well,
have
that's how I look at it. You know, I'm
Yeah.
always thinking last name.
So to that point,
Yeah.
from a client recently, sorry. I just
The
wanted to
veggie
show
straws are
this.
in the way.
Well, they brought me a water bottle
How
that
nice.
says Coach Hart.
Yeah.
But it's because, I know you guys can't see it, but that's
Yeah.
what it says there.
It's cute.
It is cute. Yeah.
Cute's the
For
wrong
record-
word,
For the
but
record, when you're talking to a guy,
yeah. I know. Cute is the wrong word. I realize
no,
this.
you're not going to want to use cute, and you're not going to want to refer to clothing
Sweet.
as an
It-
outfit.
When you're around, when you're
That's
around
okay.
Jen, you just have to get used to it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Cute means like I like it.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
okay.
that. That's a
Jen and I've had to get used to a lot of things we each say because we're so opposite.
we are opposites.
We've been
like-
labeled as like, you know, what did
odd
Corner?
couple?
Yeah, just an odd couple.
you
To
are
do
an odd
something like
couple in a
this.
beautiful way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
beautiful.
works.
Can I answer
This is
your
also
question? Oh,
weird.
Coach
No,
Bill
so
Hart.
actually, my question though is, have you ever coached in athletics?
No.
No, yeah, because
No.
I'm like, you know, I'm looking at you. I'm like, he's a pretty stout guy. His hands are huge. I mean, do you see this guy's hands?
Yeah.
I'm like, he's
Massive
got it.
hands,
You know, yeah.
enormous. Yeah, I can palm a golf ball.
So you never
Pretty-
coached the
Wow.
sports. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. You ever play sports?
Yeah, soccer, football, now golf. Golf's a sport, just so you know.
Yeah,
Like, I know
you
Casey doesn't buy into that, but it's a sport. It's a sport.
Wow, I'm
Yeah.
terrible at it. So you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
me too, but I love it.
So you,
Yeah.
So I've
did
always
you,
been Coach Bill Hart just
Okay.
because I branded that.
Did you right off the bat brand that?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, then my question is this: like, how does one get into you know just coaching in the business world?
Yeah.
Like, what did that story look like for you?
Yeah, I wish I had a track that I could describe that others could like follow, but I don't. So
That's okay.
So you pioneered your own way.
it just kind of happened.
Yeah, yeah.
It just kind of happened. So I was. What's the best way for me? I'm going to take you guys back. I'm gonna
Yeah,
take,
that's what I like.
I'm going to take you way back.
Yeah, let's
So there I was, a what would I have been? 17-year-old busboy at a
Oh.
restaurant called the Magic Pan in Beverly Hills.
The magic
And
pen?
The Magic Pan.
That sounds fun.
It was a creperie. So the pan, they would heat up
Oh,
the pan
pan.
upside down, put it in crepe batter, which is
No,
like pancake batter.
yes,
a lot
I love
thinner.
crepes.
And then they pop it back onto a spiral that would heat it up, and then they flop it off, and they
Man,
make all
I don't
kinds
think
of
we
different.
do that. I
that
don't think we
sounds
do that anymore.
Yeah, we don't
No,
do that.
and the restaurant's gone, but
Oh.
so I'm 17 years old.
Yeah.
Right? I'm a busboy in a
Busboy.
restaurant in Beverly Hills making good money. Decide, a waiter would be a pretty cool thing. And so maybe it was 18, and then 3 years later I became a waiter, and then I became a bartender. And so when I became a bartender is when I realized the importance of customer service, because the way you show up as a bartender dictates how much money you earn.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So like I had the thing down. Have you ever seen the book of matches where you bend the match over and you pop it up and you light it like a lighter?
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
seen that.
Sometimes a little sulfur sticks to the end of your thumb, and that doesn't feel so great. But it's awesome in the moment. Back in the day when people smoked. Now remember, this is 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Is that true? More than that. 50 years ago.
Wow.
50 years ago, people are smoking at the bar. People are smoking in the restaurant.
Everywhere,
right? Point
yeah.
is, I worked it. I made good money. $200 a day, cash. It was just, silly
Yeah.
back then, 50 years ago as a kid.
Yeah.
But I met a guy at the bar who was running Beechcraft West at the Van Nuys Airport, and he said, "Man, you could sell airplanes." And I'm like, well, of all the things somebody could have said to me,
That's exactly what I was trying to do.
that one was not really on the list. That's
Yeah.
interesting, but yeah, I'd love to talk to you. And that changed the trajectory of my life. So that was the moment where I realized every job I've ever had, I've been recruited to. Somebody saw something in Bill. It's like, you'd be great at. So I went and did that, sold airplanes for a long
Wow.
time. And it was phenomenal. I flew every day. Like, life was good. I was single,
cool.
flying airplanes.
Dang. Fancy.
Pretty fun deal.
Yeah, that's fun.
Made pretty decent dough.
Yeah.
Met a guy that wanted to buy an airplane, a $2 million airplane, $30,000 commission to me.
Yeah.
And what he
Oh
was
my
really
gosh.
doing, though, was selling me a job.
Yeah.
He never bought the airplane.
Oh, wow.
But I went to work for him.
Yeah.
Century 21, you may have heard of them.
Yeah.
Back in the day, this was before Keller Williams, before, Remax. But
Yeah.
it was, C21 was the big real estate company. So he hired me as his director of recruiting. I said, so I don't own any real estate.
Right.
And I don't know anything.
Don't know
he said,
anything.
it doesn't matter. I hired a personality. Just go do what I'm
Yes.
telling you to do. And that's where I started my career and was there about 8 to 10 years. Went to work for Tom Ferry's dad, Mike Ferry. Do you guys know Tom Ferry? So Tom Ferry is arguably the guy in real estate. He's kind of the guru in the real estate industry. His
Okay.
dad, Mike Ferry, was sort of the evil version of him.
Oh.
But I didn't know that at the time. I went to work for him and very quickly realized, this is not a good fit at all. There's nothing that's good about this. But in that time, I met Todd Duncan. Todd Duncan is sort of the mortgage version of
I have heard of him.
Tom
yeah.
Ferry and Mike Ferry. Yeah. And so went to work for him, was doing events. And one day there was a guy that coached Todd named Daniel Harkavine. He was the founder of Building Champions, the company that I told you I'd worked for before.
Yeah.
He said, man, you'd be a great coach. Would you like to move to Portland? And I'm like, well, dude, I live in Southern California. It's sunny all the time.
Yeah.
That's a
I
no.
don't think
Rain
so.
and
Yeah,
I don't
cloudy.
think so. But this is like 2001, and he's saying, well, you could telecommute. Have you ever even heard of that term?
No.
Have you? So
Is that a thing?
for people, a little older than you, maybe a little younger than me, some people will remember, oh, yeah, I remember telecommute. It simply meant like you're working by phone.
Yeah.
That's all it meant. So I started coaching for Building Champions in 2000, I think it was 2001, 2002. And yeah, man, just put on a headset and
So you start
Wow.
coaching. You start coaching. I mean, was there like a learning curve for this, or was it just
Oh,
you're just
huge.
yeah? What that look like?
yeah.
What that learning curve look like for you? So
Yeah.
you go into coaching.
well, here's what I learned. My natural default, like, do you have a default? The way you show up?
Sure.
I think you do.
Yeah.
And I know you do.
Yeah.
And well, I mean that in a good way.
How do you experience that? We'll keep
No,
going.
I mean that in a very.
I know you do.
I mean that in a very
Sheesh.
positive way, a very confident way.
You know,
Yes.
your feet are right into some words I got for you. And I like it though. I like it.
We're just talking.
We are.
So,
You're just talking right into them too.
so my default is to talk, educate, train. That's my default.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind
And-
of always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not coaching.
Yeah.
It'd be like you, right,
Yeah.
with a brand new client,
Yeah.
and they say, hey, I want to lose some weight. I want to get into better shape. I've seen my numbers. My triglycerides aren't great. And you'd be like,
Listen up.
okay, so here's what you do.
Yeah.
Like, go do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Come see me in 6 months.
Yeah.
That probably wouldn't be
Never
very
works out.
effective. Yeah.
Never works out. I
So-
wish it did, though.
Yeah, me
My
too.
Wouldn't
gosh.
it be great?
Oh,
if
it'd
you
be
could
awesome.
Or just hand them, like, just do this.
It'd be
Do
great.
this workout. It'd be great for you.
You eventually get there, but it takes a while.
You kind of do.
Yeah.
And not
Same thing.
everyone.
So you're,
yeah.
yeah. Go ahead. You're.
Well, what I mean is, I always joke that the first couple of years of coaching, I probably owe those clients a refund. Like, I feel like all I was doing was giving little mini seminars.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to me, effective coaching. I mentioned to you I just had a coaching session with Lindsay Atkins today, and her unique situation. Holy cow! Number one,
Oh,
number two,
so
with the company
unique,
forever.
yeah.
She's in a very unique situation where she's kind of rebuilding her
Yep.
business, and so I always try and show up with a client with an eye towards bespoke. Do you know the term bespoke?
I
BESPOKE?
do, but I don't know what it
It
means.
just means custom. Custom. So the way that I always approach coaching now is, where are you? Where have you been? Where do you want to go? What do you love? What do you hate? Let's create, probably be much like you do with
Yeah.
people. There
Sure.
are probably some people that are like, dude, just weights and put me on a treadmill.
Yeah.
And others will be like, nah, man, I need like functional stuff and get me outside. And,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Different
for
people
sure.
have different
Yeah, they have,
preferences.
100%. Everybody's
Yeah.
got different preferences when they walk through the door.
Right?
Yeah.
Got to listen to them.
That's it. So that's what I've learned.
Yeah, a lot of listening.
A lot of listening.
A lot of listening.
I love that you stepped into things
I was gonna say,
each
yeah.
time
Yeah.
that you didn't have experience in.
Oh, dude.
But you had an opportunity and you just decided to do it. Whereas I think a lot of people, when you're offered an opportunity, it's easy to think like, well, I can't, why,
sure.
whom, like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't learn this. Like, but it sounds like you've just boldly stepped
Everything
in.
I've ever done, and I don't know if that's bold. I don't know if it's
I
stupidity.
think it's bold.
But I've always done that. I mean, I
Yeah.
was telling my son this the other day that I can't think of a job where I didn't have to stretch enormously when I stepped into it. Like,
Wow.
But to me, that's what kind of activates my, I don't know, my heart and my mind around. I really want to show up well. One of the things my dad taught me for years was always deliver more value than cost. So, you know, if you think about that, anybody that's watching or listening to this right now, do you deliver more value than cost? At the end of the day, can you honestly say, yep,
That's
I deliver
good.
more value than cost today? If you can, I feel like you're winning. If
Sure.
you don't, then you start to feel that kind of insecurity of, I don't know if I did. I wonder if I'm still going to have a job. And so, in my opinion, the best way to blow those clouds of uncertainty away, is just to say I show up really strong.
Yeah.
Really strong.
Yeah, even at an early age, though, when I think a lot of people aren't necessarily thinking about the value that they're bringing. Or
Yeah.
at least I'm thinking about what was I doing at 17, 18.
Yeah.
That was not at the forefront of my
Ooh,
mind.
mercy sakes. Yeah,
And it
wasn't
was
good
not
me.
for yours either.
Ooh.
So
Hey.
wait, so your dad built that into you.
Yeah.
You think at an early age you were just like, that's something a lesson
Yeah,
he taught
it was the
him.
way he grew up, I think, and he had grown up in Oklahoma. My people. My dad's from Oklahoma, mom's from Texas. Like salt of the earth, hardworking. You know, pull it out of the ground. So even though I'm a California guy,
Yeah, you are.
that stuff was kind of ingrained in me
Yeah.
early.
So, I mean, as you're stepping into these things, you're kind of going from like bartender to selling airplanes to, you know, all the other opportunities you're given.
Real estate,
Yeah, yeah. Where, I'm curious because, like, you know, some people will take those steps of faith. They're like, okay, the Lord's calling me into this. They're doing it. Others are like, you know, this is just, you know, I'm given an opportunity. Universe giving me an opportunity. Where does, like, does your faith play into that, or where did that come into play?
Didn't at the time.
Yeah.
So I grew up Episcopalian. I had been an acolyte. Have you ever heard of that?
I don't think so.
Act like it.
It's
Seen
like
the
an
word.
altar boy
Yeah, yeah.
in the Episcopal Church.
Okay.
And it
Wow.
was cool. I grew up in Miami as a kid before we moved out to California. I mean, it was cool. It was very much the show, right? Church was the show. Incense, Latin, some English, you know, sip of wine,
Yeah.
whatever. But it meant nothing to me. I had no relationship with God. And then I just was in the weeds, like in the darkness for, I don't know, man, 25 years, if I'm honest. Yeah. And
Why do you say darkness? Just that you weren't
because
aware,
that's the
or-
absence of light and unaware. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know the Lord, and there was just no entry point that I was ever open to. Ever. Until I met my wife, Tony. We've now been married 35 years. She had grown up with the church. Yeah, exactly.
So cool.
And that began to sort of open the door for me. But that was only an academic understanding.
Sure, yeah.
I hadn't made this move yet.
Yeah.
But I can tell you when that happened, because it's very vivid
Yeah.
for me as a memory. So I mentioned I play golf
Yes.
Yeah.
poorly,
The sport.
but
But you
consistently.
love it.
It's a sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I do love it.
Yeah.
I do love
great.
it. I could play a lot more golf. As a matter of fact, we could wrap this up early.
Yeah,
I wish
let's
there's
go
some nice
ahead.
courses
There
in
are
it.
some
Jen and I are
courses.
great.
I'm-
You're gonna have a great time with us
That would
playing
be so
golf.
fun.
I've never
Yeah.
played.
So-
Well, then
Does
you'll be
putt-putt
great.
count?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
for
good
sure.
at putt-putt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll be great. You'll be great. So there I am on a golf course, and so anybody listening or watching to this that plays golf will understand what I'm saying. But you normally already have a foursome,
Yeah.
a group of people that you're
Yeah.
going to meet at a certain time and play golf. Well, my three other buddies that day had all canceled, two for the same reason and one for a different reason. But I still had the time on my calendar, like I really want to play. So
Yeah.
I went to a golf course called Camarillo Springs. It's about 10 miles west of where I live. And I got there, and I know they're going to put me together with somebody. And they say, hey, okay, Hart, you're going to play with these three guys. Cool. Nice to meet you.
Oh, so you
Bob,
can't just
John,
play by
Jerry.
yourself? You can't just play by yourself?
No,
Oh.
Yeah, you got to keep it rolling.
because
Okay,
they're
good
crowded.
to
They
know.
got
Yeah, they got multiple
Gotcha.
people trying to get on the
Okay.
course.
They don't want some bozo out there
Oh.
by himself.
Okay.
So here I am with three guys that I've just met. Now, I have an academic understanding of God and nothing experiential. And on the first tee, I can vividly remember this thought going through my head, which was, you need to pray with these guys.
Love it.
Now, how
Wow.
odd is that? Right?
Yeah.
Like, you need to pray, not for, because for would have been
Yeah.
much easier.
Yeah, you can do that just in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Yeah. But with. And so I
Oh,
don't know what to
man.
do with this. It's odd to me. If I felt it today, I'd say, awesome, Holy
Yeah,
Spirit.
let's do
this is
it.
So cool. But then I was like, weird. Okay. So, but it won't go away. And I think we're on the 14th hole. And two of the guys are standing up on the tee box, which is just out of earshot. The other guy is standing next to me.
Yeah.
And he says, oh, dude, it is so good that they're out here today. And I said, why is that? And he said, well, because his teenage daughter and his teenage son were killed in a car accident 2 months ago.
Oh my gosh.
Just met this dude. He drops it on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
But now it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
You usually don't get those nuggets.
No.
Even
no.
though it's not like a nugget, but like you don't get those like insight.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
Got a word
But
of knowledge.
I really think the Lord was like, this knucklehead needs.
Yeah, he gonna need a little push.
He does. He needs more data here. So now I'm thinking, okay, I got to pray with these guys. This is really going to be awkward. Wow, I don't know what to do. So on the 18th hole, the tradition generally is last guy putts in, last person putts in. You take off your hat because it's polite, and you shake hands. Nice to play with you. I take off my hat and I say to these three guys, hey guys, the entire time we've been together, the thought has been on my heart that I need to pray with you guys, and I'm telling you, this is not my thing. This is not normal for me. But I just found out about your kids. They both start crying.
Yeah.
The third guy starts to cry. I, as a guy who make a living with my voice, now my voice is cracking because of emotion.
Yeah.
And I eke out this little feeble prayer, which basically was, Lord, you know why you brought us all together. And the one thing I know for sure is you want these men to know that you love them.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm bawling,
Yeah.
I'm cracking, and that's it. We shake hands. I never see him again.
Yeah.
We didn't exchange phone numbers. But I call my son-in-law, who's a praise and worship leader at the church that we're now attending.
Yeah.
And I said, dude, I just got to tell you, like, I've got, it feels like a runner's high.
Yeah.
Not that I've ever had a runner's high.
Yeah.
But that's what it feels like because I don't run.
They're
Me
pretty sweet.
neither.
Yeah.
They're pretty sweet, dude.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I mean,
try
I've had an assortment of highs.
Yeah. Okay. Me too.
I grew up in the 60s
Yeah.
and 70s.
We could
but,
talk.
Yeah.
but none related to running so far.
Not a Holy Spirit high.
Not so much. No.
Yeah,
But
not
he
yet.
says to me,
Yeah.
says the pastor, dude, he said, well, that is because you stepped into obedience.
Yeah.
That's why you feel like that. I said, I want to feel like this all the time. He said, then you got to obey all the time.
Yeah.
Right? He
Promptings.
said, here's what I want you to do. He said, I want you to build what's called an Ebenezer in your mind. Are you familiar with this? I never knew this. All I knew was Scrooge. Ebenezer.
I know that
Right?
too. Yeah.
But Ebenezer was a structure of rocks and stones in the Middle East, right?
Yeah.
Like when a miracle happened,
Yeah.
Yep.
that's what they had. They didn't have logs; they had rocks. So they'd build a little rock. He said, "I
little
want you to
tower.
build that Ebenezer in your mind because that'll anchor you to what it's like when you're in God's will and you're obedient." And the second call, of course, was to my wife, and it was just amazing. So, so there you go. There, that was the
cool.
pivotal moment for me. I know it doesn't happen to everybody, but like I said,
No.
God said, "Oh, this guy's got a thick skull. We got to."
Well, you've been stepping into things and things of that
have.
nature, and the Lord's like, you ready to step into some bigger things?
Oh, that's a good.
So-
That's a good parallel I hadn't seen.
I don't know. When you were
That's
talking,
why he does this. Right?
that's what I saw when you started talking about like your just your journey and into coaching and and I was like, okay, where's the step in with the other stuff? Because I know it's you're a guy that's not afraid to step in. So my question is like, what does that look like for you over the years? Is there memories or more opportunities you've been like, well, the Lord called me and said, okay, I'm going, or what's that look like for you?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Promptings from the Holy Spirit, because that's essentially what it is. Not everybody gets the promptings from the Holy Spirit.
Oh, I know.
I take that back.
True.
I think they do. My conviction is they do. I think that not all of us are
Aware.
typically aware, whether we have too many things going on,
Yeah.
we're not listening, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But not everybody steps in, is what I probably should
Yeah.
say.
For sure. Well, but I mean, when you get, I'm looking for something here.
Yeah.
When you get hit over the head with a sledgehammer like
Yeah,
that,
yeah, that happens to me a lot.
even a guy with my IQ
Yeah.
says, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, there's more
Well,
to
I
be
should
done
probably do
Yeah.
something.
Got to get in there.
here." Right? Let me give you a couple of examples.
Yes,
So
that would be great.
a few years ago, before COVID,
Are you about to
funny
pull a
for you?
picture?
No, it's a video actually.
Oh, well, yeah,
but I'm going to reference it.
I love it. You always have an image. And
You
gotta-
do
with
always
the story.
have things to
Kinda
show.
do
I
this.
love
Just
that.
Sorry,
strong.
that's what I do.
Hey, you did good. It's amazing.
Wow, you're offline. Explore downloads. Okay, so I'll just
Paint the
explain.
picture for us.
Wi-Fi isn't working.
I got a great imagination.
Imagination,
you can paint a
yeah.
picture.
It's not that big a deal. It's just a video. What I was actually going to try and make correct was the number of views, but I recorded a video. I'm going to say it was 8-9 years ago, called Shoulder Taps, and I think it's had 20 million views.
Dang.
But it's because I talked about God, right? The videos that I've recorded that talk about business, 800 views, 1,200 views. Talk about Jesus, 20 million. So what happened?
Wow.
Tony and I are in a restaurant. I'm pretty sure it was Easter. California Pizza Kitchen, and we live in California.
Love
Why wouldn't
it,
you be
yeah.
in the pizza kitchen,
Right.
right? So I'm pretty sure we went there to eat. I can't imagine why we're alone. It's weird on Easter, but it was Easter, and it was after church, and we're sitting there, and there's a table across from me with this lovely lady, just beautifully dressed, and it's obvious that her daughter is with her and a couple of grandkids. And all I can think the whole time I'm sitting there, just sort of, how when you're talking to somebody, but you can see over your shoulder. I'm like, I'm gonna say something to her on the way out. And so we finish eating, and it's not even a particularly godly message on the surface.
Sure.
But on the way out, I just stopped and I looked at her and said, "Excuse the interruption, but I just want you to know that you look lovely today." And she stopped and she said, "I know you." And I said, "No, you don't."
Whoops.
No, you don't. No, yeah. She said, "No, you don't." I said, "You don't know me." And she said, "My husband died a year ago, and that's exactly what he would have said to me today."
That's cool.
And she starts
Oh
bawling.
my god.
And now the daughter's crying,
Yeah.
the kids are crying, and I'm
So
like,
sweet.
"Wow, okay,
Yeah.
there's another one."
Yeah.
Like the Lord just
Wow.
used me with her, right?
Yeah.
So I went home. Now check this out. My daughter at the time, she's still my daughter. At the time,
Yeah.
she was working for Rodan and Fields. Do you
Yeah,
know the
yeah.
women's
Oh,
skincare
yeah.
company? And she was doing really well. So I have a Rodan and Fields T-shirt on when I record the video. I'm not thinking about this, that there could be 20 million views.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, Rodan and Fields is like, "Hey, thanks for the product placement there with the the T-shirt, because I tell the story, and it just starts blowing up. And pastors are calling like, "Hey, Bill, could I show this at church?" I'm like, of course you could show it. Please show it at church. So that was the big one for me. Like if I had a kind of a over the fence, fly ball, it was recording that video that I just hadn't anticipated. And then the most recent example of this is Thanksgiving. Like at the time that we recorded this, we've just experienced Thanksgiving. And we had 31 people over at the house. We have a good-sized patio and backyard, and I have games set up out there, and it's just always a cool family environment. It's fun. But this year, my honorary daughter, because I have 2 daughters by birth, and then an honorary daughter who years ago told my daughter she thought of me like a dad. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll be her dad.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those,
Yeah.
So she's the director of student ministries at Pepperdine University.
Oh, cool.
Her husband is a pastor at a church called Vintage Malibu.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
Fancy.
So they start texting Tony. Yeah. They start texting Tony about a week out, like, we got a couple strays, where they don't have any place to go.
Yeah.
Would you mind if we brought them? No, come on, they're more than. So we end up with like 10 Pepperdine students,
Oh my gosh.
and actors and singers because it's Malibu.
Yeah,
It's
Oh
just-
my
you got like college involved. It's like you got to know there's not just gonna be 1 or 2. It's
no,
like,
it's a whole
horde of them.
It's a whole group.
Yeah.
So now the Lord puts on my heart, okay, you do your normal blessing before the meal with family, but now you got people you don't really know where they are. Like, step up.
Yeah.
So I did, and just did my version of an altar call at Thanksgiving. It was pretty
that's
cool.
so cool.
Like,
Oh my
the Bible
gosh.
promises is a peace that surpasses all understanding.
Yeah.
If that's interesting to you
Yeah.
right now, it's been a tough year for some of you. Man, I'd love to just sit next to you in a chair here today with a plate of turkey and
Yeah.
let's have that
Talk
conversation.
about that that's awesome.
So
Wow.
anyway, that's the most recent example of it.
Yeah.
I never would have stepped into that stuff in the past, but yeah, man, I do it all the time now.
You see that growth though, right? I mean, you talk about like stepping in business wise. You see that growth. You were stretched like
bet.
I can't. I'm not. Credentials aren't there. I shouldn't be stepping into that, but I'm going to do it.
Yep.
Same thing with the Lord, right? Like, I mean,
for sure.
even times 10, because you're being called to step into something that like you don't know.
Oh, for sure.
It's like you don't know how that comment was going to hit that lady with, "Hey, you look lovely today," but
Yeah.
the presence of the Holy Spirit that comes in behind
yeah.
you and fills the gap of what you had you had nothing to do with filling that gap, but the Holy Spirit
For
came
sure.
in and filled that and connected that
Yeah.
and just exploded. Such an amazing moment for
It's
the person
so
who knows where they're at, but where you were at knowledge base
sure.
wise, and then you experience the presence of the Lord, and then
Yeah.
bam, explosion.
man.
You see in the Bible, you see where in Acts where they all experienced the Holy Spirit, and then it was just like
Right.
gospel went out. Thousands of people were
So
coming to know the
true.
Lord. You start to experience the presence of
So
the Lord.
true.
It's just a wild thing, I love it.
So one of the things that I learned at Building Champions, the company that I was with for so long, the executive coaching firm, it was a faith-based company. We didn't talk about it. You wouldn't see it on the website, but it was like business was our mission field, So we would always start the process with a life plan,
Yeah.
which, by the way, I'm doing here
Yes, you
tomorrow.
are.
By
Yeah,
the
You're
time
great
you
at
hear
it. If
this,
you haven't
will
done it
have
with
already
Coach
happened,
Bill Hart, get in there.
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Next year.
Yeah, next
Because it
year.
will have already happened.
It will have already happened.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, reach out if I could. If
Yeah.
I can be of any value to you, I'd love to do that. But the idea was simply to say, okay, before our slogan was coaching life and business on purpose. Cool phrase,
Yeah.
right? So before I can coach you in business, I need to know like what matters to you in your life.
Yeah.
So if I have a view of that, if I know you want to be with your kids at 6 p.m. and not on the phone and solving problems at 7:30 and your spouse is
Right.
taking the kids to bed, if that matters to you, I want to know that. If your fitness matters to you, I need to know that. And so it would invariably open up the door to, so tell me about your faith walk.
Yeah.
What do you believe and why? And as you can imagine, I've coached hundreds and hundreds of clients over the years. Many of them would say, well, I grew up in this environment, and so I don't really, or I've never really been exposed, or I used to, but not, or I'm on fire for the Lord, or whatever. We would find out very early where they were.
Yeah.
And so it just gave me an opportunity once I build trust with them,
Yeah.
to drop some seeds like, well, I know that's really tough for you right now. May I pray for you?
Yeah.
That sort of
sure.
thing. Or just make a recommendation, with parents. Like, so what are your kids growing up believing and why? Does that matter to you?
Oh, that's a good question.
So it was
Yeah.
a cool on-ramp to
Yeah.
that conversation.
Yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
How old are you, by the way? Sorry to put you on the spot.
70.
70. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I asked that question, and so I was praying for before, about an hour before we came in here, and the two words I got for you were pretty like, I'm like, yeah, I totally see that. I feel like he's probably been told that as well. But I always ask the Lord, like, words that really highlight this person, and encourager and challenger were two words I got for
Good.
you. Like
Love
that you
that.
are an encourager of people, and I see that all the time with you. I think you also challenge people incredibly well.
Yeah.
Not even, maybe in your words, but I think also just like in your pursuit of life and business and things of that nature, you're a challenger. But the piece that was actually interesting that kind of, I don't know, I kind of did the whole like, that's interesting, head sideways. I don't really understand that.
That's what
Lord.
dogs do when they
I
don't
was
understand.
that's actually the image I had in my head. Was when the
Oh my
Lord kind of put this impression on my heart. It was the dog turning side. That's
Yeah.
interesting. But it caught my attention. It was that there's a space that it's almost like the question I got. It wasn't almost. The question I got was, what are you leaving on the table? Almost like you're 70, but the call or the challenge that the Lord has for you is going to be one of the greatest that you're going to need to step into. And I'm just, I don't know if you know it, but that was the real challenge
I will take that.
I heard the Lord say
That
over
is so
you is that
cool.
like you've been doing this,
Yeah,
but you're about to really be challenged to
My
do it
brother.
even more.
my brother.
Uh-oh.
Who knew that was going to happen today? That's cool.
What do you
Well,
think
I'll
about
take
especially
that?
this is
Yeah.
like, for you, you hear the voice of the Lord and things of that nature. What would that conversation, what is that conversation going to look like for you and the Lord as you kind of think about that as you're 70? It's like, well, Lord, what we got now?
Right?
What was that?
Well, the
for
Bible's
you.
full of those stories, as we
Yes.
know. So,
Yeah.
look, all I can tell you is I'm suited up and ready to serve. And I don't know. I'm writing a second book right now.
Yeah.
But I tell you the direction that I'm leaning is a lot of mentoring. And, we do that as an organization, obviously. But I also do a lot of sort of just informal mentoring.
Yeah.
Where I find that there are a lot of young men in particular. I should specify that, young men for sure. Because it's just a different vibe, I try and really encourage young women as
Yeah.
well, based on what I've seen with my daughters and my wife. But guys with guys,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just a different thing.
When you say young men, you saying like guys my age
Younger than
younger?
me.
Well, I was about to say, when you talk about 50 years old,
Yeah,
to
exactly.
me that's not
They
a young
could be.
dude. But I didn't know. I
could
didn't
be.
know if you were like going like real young, like
They
hadn't
could
started
be.
their careers
No, not
yet.
that young. Not
Okay.
that. But I'd be open to that. For the
Yeah.
most part, they're professional.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah.
they're professional men that I think often have a gap in their lives in terms of a father figure.
Sure.
Whatever that looks like. Either
Yeah.
dad wasn't connected or dad wasn't around or whatever. And they're just sort of searching. And so
Yeah.
my view on that, and this may well be what you heard from the Lord, but I've always said this could be a third book, actually.
Yeah.
With men, I see 3 chapters of life or 3 sort of seasons. The youngest season is the student. The young man is the student. I'm learning. I'm building. I'm a student. The second is the warrior, and you're in warrior stage, and that warrior would be probably, 20 to maybe 50, 55, something like that. And then 55 plus ish would be senior statesman stage,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's funny. There's this. I think it's an American Indian poem. I'm going to butcher it, but in the movie, what was it called? It was the Navy SEALs movie with real live Navy SEALs. Do you remember that? About 10 years ago.
We talking like
I know.
I don't know.
It's
There's a couple of them out
it
there.
was. It's a little
0
random, but
Dark
it was
30.
well
I don't
done.
know. Yeah. I'm just.
But in it, this salty, experienced Navy SEAL chief says, "There's a moment when other men stop seeing you as dangerous." Think about that.
Yeah, that's tough pill to swallow.
It's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Because it's something that's sort of unspoken with
Yeah.
guys. Like we size guys up if
Yeah.
you're walking down a sidewalk.
1,000%.
You
Right?
do?
Just kind of a moment
I had this
of,
conversation with
I
my
could
wife
take
the other
it.
night. She was like, "Why is that person active?" I said, "Let me just tell you how this always goes down
No.
in every interaction."
Totally.
I said, I mean, when you're 3 years old, it starts happening.
For sure.
What?
For sure.
It's a thing. with
You're
guys.
trying to
It's
see if
just-
you can take
Look
them
at,
or not?
you know how I explained it to her.
You don't. You might never have it as a conscious thought.
Yeah.
But it's primal.
Look at nature. Okay, during deer season, what do the bucks do
I don't know.
during the mating season? They fight.
Oh.
Apes, when one's getting older, what happens? One comes along and says, "I'm coming in."
Totally.
If they fight, lions, it's all just built into for animals in
sure.
that sense. For primal.
For sure.
Okay.
Let's have that conversation.
Yeah. This took a weird turn, but
Back to-
it is legit.
Yeah,
right?
for
And so I just that's where I just sort of own this role. Like, I probably couldn't take him physically, or as Toby Keith said famously, I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
Yeah.
Right. And as long as I can throw an elbow, I feel like I could do damage. So, one way or another. But what I could do is I could probably speak into that guy's heart. I could bring some wisdom and
that's so
experience, and I could be helpful there. So,
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about that though is like you're talking about tackling one of, if not the toughest like vice or sin we have, which is pride.
for sure.
I mean, because like you're talking about a man that's been on top and he's probably just about to tip over the top, and he's like, "No, I still got it." And you're like, that thing right there is a big mountain to climb, and
Absolutely.
you've got to just slowly chip that away.
Oh, dude.
And that's a hard one. I mean, especially if somebody
Really
comes in and
hard.
challenges, because somebody comes in and like wants to like has good intentions, like you have good intentions to speak into that.
For sure.
The response is always going to be like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
Nah, dude. Like,
sure.
I'm not. No.
Yeah.
I'm not there.
And why are you telling me this black hair dye is a bad idea anyway?
oh my God.
And my Corvette, I feel like I'm doing pretty well. here.
But like, think about that. In
Sorry
terms-
for all you Corvette drivers.
Yeah. Think about that in terms of how we relate to God. Like we're always in that state, I think, where we're always like, well, hold on. No, God, I got a little left to me. I can go do that. Lord's like, let me know when you're ready.
Right.
I got you.
Right.
Let me know when you're ready. And we're always, there's never a time where we're on this earth where we're not, probably
So
not in that
true.
state of like, you step in a room, it's like, I got this. Like, I've learned this, I've learned that. Lord's like, hey, you ready yet? And you're
Right.
like, oh wait, yeah, I gotta humble myself here.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, that is a
Absolutely.
huge challenge to step into, to teach people that, because
Yeah.
I'm still, I still think I can do it, but
I get it.
I wake up in the morning, I'm like, hey, my buddy Tyler. I'm like, Tyler, can you get me at 2:00 today? I need some help. My back's tight. My knees are tight. He's like, you all right? I'm like, no, I need your help, dude.
Right.
It's happening. It's just happening.
That's true.
But I
That's
love that. I
true.
mean, that's such a hard lesson for the willing to be teaching that.
You bet.
What do you think that to effectively do that, step into that, what's that going to look like for you?
I don't know. I hadn't really thought of it as any kind of a cogent thing until you said you got a word from the Lord. So apparently there's a new chapter that's opening. I have no
Yeah.
idea. I have no idea, but I mean, Lord, use me.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. It is such a joy in my life. And I think it's so pronounced. I don't know if you guys have gotten into this in other episodes, but with men and women, it is so pronounced post-COVID. You guys know the numbers. It's miserable in terms of suicides and depression, clinical depression, diagnoses, and so forth. It's like we've got a lot of young people that got jacked up during
100%.
COVID. And yeah, man, I just think the more that we can help people to step into their God-given gifts and truth,
Yeah.
the better. So, I mean, the great book on that is the stand by John Eldridge, Wild at Heart.
Yeah, Wild at Heart. Yeah,
Right.
that's a great book.
That he talks about the father wound.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
thing. So, yeah, man, I just think there's an enormous amount of opportunity there.
For somebody who, okay, so as a let's say another man who's 50 years old who has another man approach them and wants to kind of do this mentorship and walk with them, how would you advise this man who's being approached by this other man? How would you advise them to lean in and step into that? Because I mean, I think that could be something to, you're not sure if is this happening? Is this real?
Yeah.
Like, how would you advise somebody like that to be like, how to
younger
receive?
person?
Yeah, the younger person to receive that.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's funny is that we have a general counsel that looks like he could kill people. I mean,
He's
right?
definitely still
He
dangerous.
just stepped outside
Yeah.
the window.
I think he's your first person
Like,
you might need to walk in with.
Right?
Yeah, you could probably.
There you go.
Yeah, I think
That
so.
Oh
guy.
my word,
yeah,
it's a
that guy.
sign.
He still thinks
Okay.
he's got it.
Oh yeah. Really.
You ain't got
Really?
it, Scott.
He does.
Scotty, you have it, dude. You totally
He
have
definitely has it.
it. So what's funny about your question, because it's a legitimate question, but other than me reaching out to some people for my mentoring group at the company, they all approach me. So it's
Yeah, that's
interesting to
It's
look
people
at the
that are already
difference.
ready to receive
Yeah, they're
it.
ready. Like, hey, I don't know if you would consider. Or I don't.
Yeah.
So that's a much more common
Yeah.
on ramp.
It is.
for me. But I love the reverse, because the reverse is, hey, I'm available and would love to spend some time with you. And so, yeah, I just the easiest place that I could take that, I think, in somebody's mind, that 50-year-old guy.
Yeah.
Are you 50?
No.
Get
outta
He looks
here.
So good. He looks 30. So, I mean, there's a point at which you lose track of
Yeah, it's
what
fine.
age
Yeah.
looks
I'm
like.
okay.
Yeah.
I've been beat up in life.
Have you been painting? Because I see some white.
I don't paint. Actually, I was just telling people about painting their hair this morning. I said, "Why are you painting your hair?" I said, "Look at my hair. I ain't painting it." But yeah, it's just natural.
You rock it well.
Thanks.
You rock
It's
it
just
well.
natural.
Thanks, dude.
Oh my goodness. So here's where I think I would take it though. With if I was going to encourage young men, whether it was with me or somebody else, to consider it, it would be to say, look at where you are today,
Yeah.
and then ask yourself where you want to be a year or 3 years from now.
Yeah.
And if you're on track and it feels like, yep, this is great, I'm ready. Awesome, we're good. But in terms of your faith, your fitness, your relationships, your health, your travel goals, whatever finance, whatever matters to you, if there's a gap there,
Yeah.
man, find somebody that you could come alongside and speak a little truth and wisdom to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree. I think
good.
the natural response or the natural steps is typically the younger guy coming to the older guy. I just think there's probably times where there's men that have never been taught to do that.
For sure.
They don't know how to actually be vulnerable and transparent in that way. And so I just think for those men out there, just want to encourage them to be like, hey,
Absolutely.
it's that step in thing you talked
Absolutely.
about with when you're 17, selling planes, and then the It's the stepping into the voice of the Holy Spirit and going and saying those things. It's that same place of it's going to be uncomfortable, but man, the reward is just so great.
Yeah, it is.
To be able to step into an opportunity like that. And so I just
So
want to kind
I-
of give those guys encouragement.
So I want to come alongside that. Your comment is really great. Forgive us while we're over here.
No, I'm loving it. It's great.
We're on the testosterone.
Yeah,
side
you
of the
are.
table
That's
here,
okay.
but we can come back over to the
No,
estrogen
no,
side
stay over
in
there.
just a
We're
moment.
good. Yeah.
But here's what I would say, because I love that you frame this up. It's a great thing for, I think, younger guys to think about. I think one of the greatest compliments that I've ever heard is when somebody said, a younger guy came to me and said, I see something in you that I really respect, and I would like to know more about that. Would you consider spending some time with me?
Yeah.
Be that guy. If you're on camera, if
Yeah,
you're watching
for
this
sure.
right now, be that guy.
Yeah.
Because to your point, there's an awful lot of young men who were never taught, encouraged ever
They've never
to
seen
step into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've never seen it. And I think that's you talk about men that the father wound,
Yeah.
maybe it was that was their
Of
story.
course.
They've never seen it. So there's just and then I think where I go even deeper to that is that gift to them will teach them even more about their Heavenly Father
Absolutely.
and how to step into the blessings and the grace and the freedom and the peace that the Heavenly
Absolutely.
Father has for us. I mean, I always feel blessed because I have a earthly father that's great. I mean, and so when I, found myself, Lord smacking me across the face, you talk about, how you gotta, sometimes the Lord's gotta hit you with a sledgehammer.
Totally.
When the Lord hit me with a sledgehammer and woke me up, I was like, oh wow, okay, you're real. The turning to him as a father was very easy. It was like, okay,
Yeah.
I experienced this, who's just a lot of grace,
Sure.
and also would challenge me and encourage me. And, so it just made it so much easier. So I think like when we as men have an opportunity to learn, from an older man who's, walking that path of humility and grace and empathy and challenging, encouraging, like it's only going to help us in our walk with the Lord. And that is, at the end of the day, going to be the most fulfilling, the most satisfying thing in life is when we experience God's presence
For sure.
on a daily basis,
For sure. Last thing I'll say on that, from my perspective anyway, is if I have in any way led anybody to believe that I have led some kind of perfect life and therefore I want to share all my perfect decisions with these younger men, let that not be the understanding, because I got a lot of scar tissue, man. Like,
Sure.
I made a lot of mistakes. There's so many things I did wrong. And sometimes that's actually the better lesson. Like, don't do this. I broke my toe on that rock. It really hurt.
Yeah.
You can step over it. You know?
Yeah.
You ain't got to pick up that hot frying pan.
No, very painful.
Yeah, exactly.
Very painful.
Jen, we totally stole the show. I mean,
Oh, no, it's great.
It did. But what's occurring to you as you're listening to all of this?
That's a great question. I'm similar to Dave in that I have a really great father and I have a great example, but I'm also very aware that that's super rare, unfortunately. And I do think that's one of the biggest hurts that keeps people from letting Christ in.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and that is something that I see in you, is you have a very like calming, caring, fatherly presence about you.
Oh, I'm glad.
And I think that is something that a lot of people are missing in their lives. So I would just encourage you, like, I love that it's like the mentor piece of it too, but then also maybe asking God to show you people that have that hurt and allow you to kind of speak into and say like, hey, there's a different way.
Oh my goodness,
and that's
yes.
not what Jesus would want for you.
Absolutely.
Because I do think that having an earthly example is really important. So
Well, yeah. I mean, it's physical.
Yeah.
I know we're just about out of time, but I would be remiss if and you may have already done this, but I want to know from you.
Yeah, let's go.
I want to know from you how it is that you show up consistently
This is great. Yeah.
with that laugh, that joy that it, I believe, represents. People agree with me, I know. And what did I say to you as we walked through the door? I said,
There it
when
is.
I see her, my
Butterflies.
heart's just like bubble over her head. You are like joy and love personified.
Oh, that's kind.
So, but it's true, I believe. I think people agree with me.
you're doing great. I think spot on. Yeah,
Where
she
does it
brings
come
that
from?
consistently, and I think it's a gift.
Is that a decision? Is that a choice?
No.
Have you always been that person?
No. Yeah, I think it's an interesting question because actually I was at breakfast this morning with a market leader and I shared with him like, here's all the stuff that's going on in my life. And he was like, that's so interesting because it's not like I wouldn't know that you had all that going on because this is how you show up, you know? I would say most of my life I was really shy and really quiet, very reserved. I think at a young age I was kind of spoken into of like, it's better to be quiet and not heard. So like probably till I was 30.
Okay.
I'm 40 now.
Okay.
Weird. Yeah, I just felt like it was my job to like not ruffle any feathers, not speak up, not be too big or too loud.
A lot of women are identifying with what you're saying.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it was two different instances that I've done a lot of work in therapy and all the things that I can remember when that was spoken into me and I just like grabbed onto it. So it is interesting how it seems to be very easy to grab onto criticism or negativity and have that shape you versus I had great parents, supportive friends, family, but for some reason, anyways, so until I got to movement, really, and I've been a part of Elevation Church kind of around the same time.
Yeah.
I feel like is when God started allowing me to step in and finally like be
That's so cool.
who he wanted me to be.
I love that.
But it was like I was being forced into.
Yeah.
Let's not met forced, but given lots of opportunities that were very outside of my comfort zone that I did not feel qualified for. But But then now, like looking back, I am like a totally different person in the last like 10 years of my life.
So somebody's listening to this right now
Yeah.
that can relate to you 10 years ago.
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
Yeah. I don't know. That's a really good question.
Well, I heard elevation and movement.
Yeah.
So church and community.
Being something a part of, I think, bigger than just you.
Yeah.
I think I finally found like somewhere where I belonged too, and
sure.
felt like people saw, kind of like you said, like people saw things in me and called that out, and then gave me opportunities to step into that I didn't think I could handle, but then it was God kind of filling the gaps,
Yeah.
and that's what I experienced
So cool.
several times.
You mean like co-hosting a podcast? for
Yeah,
example?
exactly.
Yeah.
Because that was not initially the
Yeah,
plan
that wasn't
for
the
me to
plan.
co-host.
She didn't want to. Hey,
I
you
didn't
know what
want
I just?
to.
You know what's interesting? When you were
Yeah.
speaking, I saw something that was really cool. That I haven't. I mean, it's probably something people see all the time. But when you said you were talking to somebody this morning, and they were like, "Hey,
Yeah.
wow, all this is happening, but I see this. We're
Yeah.
talking about
Right.
this presence." You know what I saw?
Yeah.
It was so picture perfect. I saw Jesus, because Jesus, when he showed up to people, whether it was the woman at the well, or even the woman that was brought before him that everybody wanted to stone her, you know, or just when he showed up intimately with people, Jesus had a lot of things going on. There were people that wanted to kill him.
Right.
There were people that wanted to totally defame his name and say, "You're not that. You're a demon. You're doing this." He had a lot going on. But it was in those moments we see in the Bible where he showed up, and it was like, oh wow, like I just experienced something so much greater than what all that is going on over there. So the ability, I saw Jesus in you is what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is because you have things going on, but you know that in this moment I'm going to step in and be what God's called me to be. This stuff doesn't define me. It's hard. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
It's hard.
It's life.
It's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
And it's still there. It's going to be there when you get done. But the opportunity to be Jesus,
Yeah.
you've stepped into so many times, and I think
Yeah.
you're still gonna. I think those opportunities are still like going to be. There's way bigger ones. I call her the key. The key. She unlocks
It is so true.
relationships, and she
Oh, my
unlocks
goodness,
doors
that
that
is
we
so
can't
good.
unlock because she sees it differently, and people allow her in. And so I
That
call her
is
the
so
key
good. I
to
love
this
that.
culture and this community.
I love
Yeah.
that. You are the key.
Thank you.
That might
That's
stick.
kind. It's
You're
weird.
good with nicknames.
Yeah.
Like Neutron. And
Jimmy.
You've got a bunch of them,
She's
right?
great. I love
Yeah.
It's
her.
great.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's community. I think it's culture. And I also think, too, like it's having that foundation of faith to fall back on, even when I didn't want to fall back
And you
on.
had
No
courage
doubt.
too.
You know?
You had
No
courage
doubt.
to step
Yeah.
in. You had courage.
Well, that's
You
the
say
thing.
you don't, but you do.
I feel like most of the time I'm so scared.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the thing is, the beautiful thing is though, is that what'd you say? How do you consistently show up this way? Right? That's what you said.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're scared,
do it
but
scared.
courage is
Yeah.
the fear doesn't go away in courage.
Sure.
Courage is you just step in.
Yeah.
The fear's still there. There's no question. The
is
fear's
still
still
there.
there.
Oh, absolutely.
But you've stepped. And man, that's what I love about you just consistently show up. I mean, we laugh a lot because sometimes she's like, "We should probably do this," and I'm like, "Oh Lord!" And I'm like, "You want to know where I'm actually at, where my fleshly
Yeah, exactly.
heart
Yeah.
is at?" And she's like, "Oh, come on!" I'm like, "All
But
right, here
it's
we go."
the key. So
Yeah.
what are you going to
Yeah,
do?
she locks it up.
And
No.
by the way,
But-
to your point, I don't know if I ever told you this. I did one Spartan race. Did I ever
Yeah,
tell you
no,
this?
you never told me that.
When I was 60. I did it with my
60,
son.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Had 10 weeks to train.
Oh,
The
I
only-
think I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only thing I hate more than running is running hills.
Yeah.
And we were running
Yes.
hills.
Yeah.
Hated every bit of it. Small one, but still, it's terrible. But I remember reading a quote by Joe DeSena, who created the Spartan race and sold it to Reebok.
Yeah.
And he said, if it excites you and scares the crap out of you, you should probably do it.
Yeah, you got to.
Now, he's not saying that from a spiritual perspective,
No.
certainly, but it
But
applies.
it relates.
Totally applies.
That is literally, I
100%.
think, where I've been the last like 10 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think
And
you'll
I love
continue
this.
to be.
I love this. Like I love this community, and I've been supported and held by this community in like the hardest
so
years of
cool.
my life. And so then
so
it's
cool.
really allowed me then to, because I was cared for, I want to also care
Nice.
for other people. And God I mean, we could talk about it all day long, continues to give us opportunities to do that for people
That is
here,
so
and
cool.
that I'm allowed to do that and
Yeah.
be myself here.
For
Like, I
sure.
would just say to people, like, it's okay to be you, even if it doesn't feel like it's accepted by other people. And
Absolutely.
just to own it. I mean, I have a long way to go with the owning piece, but I've come a long way in just knowing that God created me different and has a different plan for my life than I would have chosen. But ultimately, like, it ended up being way better than I could have ever thought,
man.
you know?
Those are, if you didn't listen to anything else in this entire podcast, but you got that,
Bam.
like that was worthwhile.
Lock in.
Thank you for that.
Oh, yeah.
So true. So
Bill.
appreciate you.
Oh.
Great question, Bill. Hey,
Yeah.
Coach Bill Hart,
buddy.
you've already
Yeah.
crushed life. I would
Crushed
say
it.
I would just want to say you've already crushed it. It sounds like every time you get together with family, there's a huge amount of people. I think everybody has
know,
that
family
dream.
legacy.
So thankful that you have that blessing.
Yeah.
But for you, as you know, there's life left. What is
Yeah.
Is there any dreams? What does a life well lived look like for Coach Bill Hart?
Yeah, more family giving their heart to the Lord. That's really probably my very first answer,
Yeah.
because our routines and our patterns, God willing, health willing, are fantastic with family and travel and family vacations. You've seen the pictures.
Yes,
Of it.
it's
You guys
amazing.
crushed it.
We're so blessed by that. But I do want to just call that out. If somebody hasn't heard that before, one of the things that we started about 12 years ago is Tony and I got a little tiny condo at Lake Arrowhead, and we invited the whole family there, which was like 8 of us back in the day.
Yeah.
Rented the boat and just
So
had a great
fun.
time. But it created a tradition where
Yeah.
we would do a family vacation every year, and that has become so complex that now we've got a daughter playing professional soccer in Australia, or granddaughter, got another granddaughter playing D1 soccer. I got 2 grandkids in UCLA law school.
Wow.
I mean, it's just crazy busy. People getting married, having
Schedules,
babies,
yeah.
schedule. But you know what? They prioritize the family vacation.
That's great.
So the only way that happens is if they covet it, and they do.
Yes.
They love that vacation. So my encouragement to people is, if you're thinking about that or haven't done that, kids love traditions, and kids never grow up. Like, those would be my 2 final thoughts there.
I love that. Thanks,
Yeah. So
Bill.
fun.
This was so good.
This is fun.
Yeah.
See,
it's
we
good
could
time.
keep talking and talking, but at some point we have to just
I
be
know,
like,
gotta
okay.
end it.
Yeah.
So you could actually start recording now, though, if you want.
Exactly.
Let's hope
I
we were.
do have to pee though, so we need to
Well,
end.
Coach Bill Hart, thank you so much for coming on the deep
My
end.
pleasure.
Jen's got to go pee,
Yeah,
so
I
everybody
gotta
will
go to
catch
the
you next time.
bathroom.
Take care,
Thanks,
y'all.
guys.
Later.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you have any questions, please email us at thedeependwithdave@gmail.com. We'll see you back soon for the next episode of The Deep End.